In previous lecture, I had discussed what is communication and I explained to you the process of communication. Now, in this lecture, we'll discuss about the types of communication. Communication कितने प्रकार के होते हैं? This we gonna discuss. Now, on the basis of means of delivering the message, मतलब आप मैसेज को कैसे डिलीवर कर रहे हो, मैसेज को कैसे रिसीवर तक पहुंचा रहे हो, based on that the communication is of two types. Okay, and the second one is based on the purpose of communication, कि आपके communication का purpose क्या है. Based on that the communication has further been divided into two parts. Firstly, we'll discuss based on the means of delivering the message. Based on means of delivering the message, the communication is of two types: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication क्या होता है? Verbal communication is when you are communicating through a written medium or through an oral medium. या तो आप written medium से communicate कर रहे हो या oral medium से communicate कर रहे हो. Means आप किसी से जब टेलीफोन पे बात कर रहे हो, that is a verbal communication. आप किसी को email लिख रहे हो, even that is a verbal communication. And if we talk of non-verbal communication, it is totally different from verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is when you are not using any word. आप words use नहीं कर रहे हो, आप alphabets use नहीं कर रहे हो, you're not using any language. Rather, you are using body language. आप अपनी body language का use कर रहे हो. You are using your gesture, your posture, your reactions, okay, your facial expression, silence. So when I talk of non-verbal communication, it is when somebody is asking you, okay, how are you? So when you are being asked how are you, you reply back to that person that you're good. Okay, so I'm good. When you say I'm good, is the feedback you're giving to your sender who's asking you the question how are you. So this is a kind of verbal communication. But when somebody is asking you how are you and you're not replying anything back, you're not saying I'm good, you're not giving any answer to that person, you're simply smiling or you're nodding your neck, you're simply nodding your neck, and that you're good, or a kind of reaction you're giving, that is an example of non-verbal communication. Okay, suppose your friend asks you to go for a movie. So when you are being asked to go for a movie with your friend, you are not replying him with yes or no. You are simply giving a very exciting expression on your face. आपके face पे एक exciting सा expression आ जाता है. You know, the expression that can be catched by your friend, that you are happy that you have been asked for a movie. So that is non-verbal communication. And if we talk of verbal communication, okay, is possible only when the sender and receiver are able to hear each other. जब sender और receiver एक दूसरे को सुन पा रहे हैं, they are able to see each other, or they are able to communicate each other through the medium of words, okay, through written medium, oral medium. सेंडर और रिसीवर एक दूसरे को एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं ओवर टेलीफोन, ओवर इंटरनेट, ओवर ईमेल, ओके, और could be face to face. But in case of non-verbal communication, the communication is limited. It is limited to the fact that the sender and the receiver नीड्स टू बी प्रेजेंट फेस टू फेस. सेंडर और रिसीवर को फेस टू फेस होना पड़ेगा. जब वो लोग फेस टू फेस होंगे तभी एक दूसरे को रिएक्शन दे सकते हैं और एक दूसरे का रिएक्शन कैच कर सकते हैं. दे नीड टू बी फिजिकली प्रेजेंट face to face so that they can catch each other's reaction. Without this, non-verbal communication is not possible. In case the sender and receiver are not present face to face, non-verbal communication is not possible. Okay, so it doesn't have a wide range in the field of communication. And ये non-verbal communication is the oldest form of communication. How old is non-verbal communication? If we talk of civilization, okay, so the process of civilization started with the language, but non-verbal communication has nothing to do with the language. Non-verbal communication existed even before civilization. People used to communicate through signs, through facial expression. So this is the oldest form of communication we have had. Okay. Now, based on the purpose of communication, आपका क्या purpose है communicate करने का? Based on that, the communication has further been divided into two parts: formal communication and informal communication. What is formal communication? Formal communication, जब आप ऑफिस में किसी से बात कर रहे हो, when you are working in an organization and you are talking to your juniors, your seniors, your subordinates, okay, and your respective bosses, so that is formal communication. Formal communication follows line of authority. Okay, so formal communication itself has 4 channels. Okay, we'll discuss it. So before we discuss the 4 channels of formal communication, we need to know the hierarchy an organization follows. So in an organization, the hierarchy is likewise, there are board of directors, then below them there are managing directors, then top level management is there. After that, middle level management is there, senior supervisors, first line supervisor, employees and laborers, they are all there. So you people, since you people are engineers, so you people fit somewhere here in middle level management. Okay, then we'll discuss the channel of formal communication. See, look at the picture here. The flow of communication is describing how managing director is communicating with the directors. Okay, these directors, there are 3 directors. Okay, they are working under managing director. Then they have their subordinates. Under director 1, there are 3 managers. Suppose director 1 is director of production. Okay, he is production in charge. And suppose director 2 is director of sales and purchase. Okay, or say sales or marketing. Okay, and the third one is the HR director. Okay, he's looking after the HR activities. So they have 3 managers are working as a production manager, and other 3 managers are working as sales and marketing manager, and the remaining 3 managers are working as HR managers. Now, when sales manager is communicating with production manager, this is what? This is a kind of lateral communication, or you say horizontal communication. जब same level के लोग आपस में बात करते हैं तब उसको lateral communication कहते हैं. जैसे कि आप अगर फर्स्ट ईयर में हो और आप फर्स्ट ईयर से बात कर रहे हो, ठीक है, तो वो लेटरल कम्युनिकेशन हो गया. अगर आप सेकेंड ईयर में हो, सेकेंड ईयर से बात कर रहे हो, वो लेटरल कम्युनिकेशन हो गया। चाहे आप फर्स्ट ईयर में सिविल डिपार्टमेंट में हो और आप फर्स्ट ईयर के सीएस डिपार्टमेंट से बात कर रहे हो तो भी वो लेटरल कम्युनिकेशन हुआ। आप सेकेंड ईयर में हो, आप सेकेंड ईयर के मैकेनिकल डिपार्टमेंट के स्टूडेंट हो और आप सेकेंड ईयर के केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट से कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हो, even then that is lateral communication. In the similar way, जब सेल्स का मैनेजर एचआर के मैनेजर से बात कर रहा है, that is lateral communication. When people at the same level are communicating with each other, it is called lateral communication. And an example of this is building up a team in an organization. जब organization में एक team बनाया जाता है, it is an example of lateral or horizontal communication. Then second one is upward communication. What is upward communication? जब मैनेजर जो है वो डायरेक्टर से बात करेगा, ओके, व्हेन द जूनियर्स आर कम्युनिकेटिंग विद देयर सीनियर्स, इमीडिएट सीनियर्स, ओके, देन दैट काइंड ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन इज अपवर्ड चैनल ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, अपवर्ड चैनल ऑफ फॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन. ठीक है, जब आप सेकेंड ईयर में हो और आप थर्ड ईयर से बात कर रहे हो, ये अपवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन है. आप फर्स्ट ईयर के हो, आप सेकेंड ईयर से बात कर रहे हो, इट इज अपवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन. ठीक है. एंड व्हाट इज डाउनवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन? डाउनवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन इज व्हेन मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर इज कम्युनिकेटिंग टू डायरेक्टर. जब सेकेंड ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट से बात कर रहे हैं, दैट इज डाउनवर्ड कम्युनिकेशन. ओके. When you are talking to your immediate junior, आप इंजीनियर हो, आपके नीचे सुपरवाइजर्स काम करेंगे in an organization, तो जब आप सुपरवाइजर से बात कर रहे हो, it is downward communication. When your manager is communicating to you, it is downward communication. But there is, another channel of communication that exists. It is known as diagonal communication. It is a very different form of communication. Diagonal communication में क्या होता है? मैनेजर सीधे मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर से बात कर रहा है. मैनेजर इज डायरेक्टली कम्युनिकेटिंग टू मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर. ओके. जो लेबर है, आपके अंडर जो लेबर है, सुपरवाइजर से भी नीचे जो लेबर्स है, दे आर डायरेक्टली कम्युनिकेटिंग टू द प्लांट हेड. कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आई, देयर इज सम इक्विपमेंट फेलियर, ही डायरेक्टली कॉल्ड अप प्लांट हेड एंड ही इन्फॉर्म्ड हिम अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम. ही बाईपास्ड एवरीवन. उसने इंजीनियर्स को बाईपास किया, उसने अपने मैनेजर को बाईपास किया, ओके, और उसने सीधे प्लांट हेड को इन्फॉर्म कर दिया अबाउट द इक्विपमेंट फेलियर दैट अकर्ड इन द प्लांट. व्हाट इज दैट? That is diagonal communication. There is no hierarchy being followed in such kind of communication. But this diagonal communication is considered as the best form of formal communication in today's world. Okay, आज के टाइम में सबसे बेहतरीन माना जाता है diagonal communication को, because it promotes growth. It is speedy form of communication and it is followed in organization where customer is the prime. कस्टमर प्राइम होता है जहाँ पर, where market demands are high and you need to speed up your productivity. In such a scenario, the diagonal communication is considered to be the best form of formal communication. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you all. Now I'm moving to now what I want to explain to you now is we are done with the types of communication. Based on purpose, we have had two form of communications. Okay, so when we talk of downward communication or upward communication or diagonal communication or lateral communication, this communication has further been divided into two parts: written communication and oral communication. What is written communication? Written is when you present your communication in a written format. Like when you have to talk to your seniors. How do you talk to your seniors? You talk through email. Okay. Suppose there is a equipment breakdown in the plant and you have to call third party for rectification. So how do you do that? If you do it by telephone, there is no record left to you for future reference. Then for you to have records, what you do? You mail, you write a mail. You mail to the third party for providing you the service required. Okay. And you keep those mails for future record. If you are being asked in future what were the problems that occurred and how the rectification has been done, you can present it to your plant head in future. Okay. So written communication. Examples of written communications are instructions, emails, handbooks, policy statement. HR people, they hand over to you the policy statements. These are the employee policy statements. These are the leave policy statements. In the similar way, we also have oral communication. Though oral communication is not so effective in an organization at workplace, but we do have oral communication. Not everything can be written. हर चीज लिखा नहीं जा सकता है. अगर आपको सिंपली किसी डिपार्टमेंट से, सपोज आप सेल्स डिपार्टमेंट में हो और आपको मार्केट में आज आपको डिस्पैच अपने प्रोडक्ट का करना है. फॉर एग्जांपल आपको 1000 यूनिट्स डिस्पैच करने हैं आज. ओके. तो आप प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट से जब आवरली बेसिस पे पूछते रहते हो कितना हो गया प्रोडक्शन, कितना हो गया, यू कैन नॉट ऑलवेज आस्क प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट टू गिव इट टू यू इन रिटन. आप हमेशा रिटन में नहीं मांग सकते हो हर डेटा को. देयर हैज टू हैव सम लेवल ऑफ ट्रस्ट इन पीपल वर्किंग इन सेम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. एक लेवल ऑफ ट्रस्ट होता है जिसके बेसिस पे आप ओरल कम्युनिकेशन करते हो, जिसके बेसिस पे यू आर एबल टू मेक डिसीजन. Okay. When you are able to make decision on the basis of oral communication, so that is something which is being followed everywhere. आप हर चीज written में नहीं मांग सकते हो किसी से. So there are certain things as a oral communication that sometimes it is timely informations from various departments which you require. Then speeches, meetings, telephone, loudspeakers, etc. is there. So this is all about types of communication. And lastly, informal communication was left. So informal communication is something that doesn't follow line of authority. Okay. On the basis of purpose, we have two communications. Formal communication, which I already discussed. Okay, formal communication has four channels of communication, which I discussed to you. Now, second is informal communication. In informal communication, what you do? You simply talk to people. You make friends. Okay. You go to department, you make friends, you have a healthy relation with people, you have build up certain confidence level with some people. So what happens when these things exist in an organization? देखो, workplace पे friends नहीं बनाए जाते, because workplace पे there is a work ethic. Okay, there are certain things that is not to be disclosed to other department. कुछ ऐसी चीजें होती हैं in your department which you don't disclose to other department. So we don't make friends at workplace. Okay, even in your own department you'll not make friends because आपस में you people are competitors. Okay, but since men are social, animals. So we make friends wherever we go. Even we are going somewhere on like in rail also, in the a train also, or in aeroplane, whatever medium you follow to travel, you will definitely talk to people sitting around you. आप आपके आसपास जो लोग बैठे होंगे उनसे बात करोगे ही करोगे. यू विल गेट टू नो व्हाट who they are, what they are, how they are, where they are, and etc etc. You'll definitely ask them what they are doing with their life, what which place they stay, where they live, and kind of things you will discuss with them. Okay, so what is this discussion? Why you do that? Because you are a social person, you will talk to people, you are habitual of making friends, so you do it in organization also. By doing this, what happens in an organization? It is not a suitable form of communication for an organization. It creates grapevine situation in an organization. सपोज आपका कोई एचआर में फ्रेंड है, उसने आपको बता दिया कि इस बार सैलरी 10% कट के आ सकती है ड्यू टू कोरोना, ड्यू टू कोविड. Now this is something he has heard his seniors talking, and he told this to you. What you'll do? You'll be in a panic situation. You'll spread the rumor to entire people you know. आप जिस जिसको जानते हो, जिन जिन लोगों में आपका कॉन्फिडेंस है, आप उन लोगों में जाके इस र्यूमर को स्प्रेड करोगे. इससे क्या होगा? देयर इज अ फीलिंग ऑफ इनसिक्योरिटी इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. एंड ये जो इनफॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन होता है, इट इज़ नॉट ऑथेंटिकेटेड. इसका कोई रिलायबिलिटी नहीं होता है. इनफॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन का रिलायबिलिटी नहीं होता है. इट डज क्रिएट हेल्दी रिलेशंस. इट क्रिएट्स हेल्दी रिलेशन. ओके, it is the most easy and fast way of communication in an organization, but it is not suitable for organization. Okay, so let me discuss how the grapevine chain is created due to informal communication in an organization. कैसे grapevine chain create होता है? देखो, एक होता है सिंगल स्ट्रैंड चेन, जिसमें क्या होता है कि ए ने कुछ बोला बी से, बी ने सी को जाके बताया. ठीक है. ग्रुप चैन में क्या होता है? एक इंसान को कुछ पता चला, वन पर्सन गॉट टू नो समथिंग एंड ही इन्फॉर्म्स टू एंटायर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. वर्क प्लेस पे जितने लोग काम कर रहे हैं सबको जाके बता दिया. प्रोबेबिलिटी चैन क्या होता है? कुछ लोग ऐसे भी होते हैं जो नहीं बताते हैं, एक आध लोगों को बताते हैं. ओके. और क्लस्टर चेन क्या होते हैं? बहुत ही सिलेक्टेड लोगों को बताते हैं. मतलब फ्रेंड ने कुछ बताया तो वो बिल्कुल ही उसका जो फ्रेंड होगा उसी को बताएगा, सबको नहीं बताएगा. बट nobody can keep the secret only to himself. सिर्फ अपने आप तक बात नहीं रख सकता कोई भी. So there is always a chance of grapevine chain. grapevine chain का चांस है. अगर एक ने एक और को भी बता दिया, then how will you trust that वो जो दूसरा पर्सन है वो किसी को नहीं बताएगा. So this is something that will continue to happen. ये होगा ही होगा. So talking of the advantage of informal communication, स्पीडी होता है. स्पीडी होता है इसलिए क्योंकि कुछ हमें रिटन डॉक्यूमेंट तो बनाना नहीं है, किसी ने कुछ बात बता दी, बस उस बात को फैलाना है. सो इट इज स्पीडी. फीडबैक वैल्यू होती है इसकी. सपोर्ट टू अदर चैनल्स. साइकोलॉजिकल सेटिस्फैक्शन होता है एक, कि कुछ भी आपको प्रॉब्लम है, आपको किसी के बारे में गलत ही बताना है, या आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से सेटिस्फाइड नहीं हो, आपको ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में ही कुछ कहना है, तो एक एक साइकोलॉजिकल सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलता है इनफॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन करके. ठीक है. आपके डिपार्टमेंट में कुछ लैकिंग्स हैं, आपका कोई फ्रेंड है दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट में, उससे उन लैकिंग्स को शेयर करोगे ऐसा करके आपका मन हल्का होता है, this happens. Sometimes it can be positive, very positive, that कुछ लोग मिलके आपस में they create new ideas informally, क्योंकि आइडियाज तो इनफॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन करते हुए ही आते हैं ना. व्हेन वी आर कम्युनिकेटिंग इनफॉर्मली विद समवन, ऐसे ही बैठते बैठते लोग बात करते हैं, बातों ही बातों में कुछ बात आ जाती है, एंड यू गेट सम आइडियाज फॉर सर्टेन प्रॉब्लम. You can solve it through informal communication by making a group. Okay, and it always has a good personal relations. इनफॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन तो होता ही उसी बेसिस पे है, ऑन द बेसिस दैट यू हैव गुड रिलेशन विद समवन, यू हैव अ फ्रेंड टू whom you can communicate. Disadvantage, as I already discussed, that it cannot be taken seriously, it spreads rumor, there is a chance of misinterpretation, and it is never accountable. अकाउंटेबल नहीं होता है इनफॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन. ओके, दिस इज ऑल. वी आर डन विथ टाइप्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच.